Chantal as we get into the holiday weekend, possibly as early as tomorrow afternoon. Now, as it pushes off to the north and the west, it will eventually make landfall in Charleston as a weak tropical storm. And the main threat is that it's going to be bringing the potential for heavy rainfall and then rough surf and the possibility of maybe even a high rip current risk along the Carolina coastline, then eventually dissipating. So the main impacts would be rain. Speaking of rain, we have been tracking a few storms. We told you yesterday here on Weather Extra that even though a lot of folks would stay dry, there was an isolated rain chance today because we have what could eventually be Chantal off to our southeast. Us being on the northwest side of that, we kind of get this east-northeasterly flow, and that has actually brought moisture off of the Atlantic that helped to spark a few showers and storms today. And most of those storms we're seeing right now are in West Alabama. If you had a storm come through, hey, it helps to cool you off. So let's zoom into some of those trouble spots tonight on First Alert AccuTrack. You can see around Cordova and Dover town, we've got a thunderstorm that could possibly be producing some small hail as it's pushing westward towards Corinth. Right along I-22, if you live in Oak Hill, Boldo, Jasper, Bankhead, and First Alert, this storm could be headed your way, and it is producing some cloud-to-ground lightning. And then a more intense thunderstorm as well near Cedar Lake and Drifton. This, where you see that pink showing up, that could indicate some torrential downpours or possibly some small hail. First Alert for Whitson, Browntown, Bethel, Wiley, pushing westward. And then also another thunderstorm to the north of Tuscaloosa, right around Northport Elementary School. This is moving towards areas like Buell, Brownville, and Gordo, and another little storm near Royal Pines. And then we got also another little thunderstorm near Havana as we get a little closer to Hill County. So as we go into tonight, we're going to continue to see, at least for the next couple of hours, isolated storm chances in West Alabama. But then we kick off Thunder on the Mountain this evening at 9 o'clock. And I do think by showtime at 9 o'clock, those rain chances should be whittling away. So should be dry. And honestly, because we do have slightly, ever so slightly drier air in place, and we had some rain come through earlier, shouldn't feel too shabby outside. Well, right now, as we just mentioned, we are only 2.5 hours away from what's being dubbed the Magic City's most spectacular fireworks show. Your reporter Brady Talbert is live as crews make final preparations for Thunder on the Mountain. Brady, how's it feeling out there, buddy?
Hey, Lauren, we've been out here a little while. We've been live out here all day. In fact, our crew's out here. You know, right now it feels pretty good. The shade is out and about. A little bit earlier, that was not the story. It was sunny, it was hot, and honestly, a little bit sweaty. But that's not the case right now, and we're not going to complain about it. I want to give you a live look at what we're seeing out here at Vulcan Park. This year, we're told Thunder on the Mountain will have more than 2,500 fireworks launched by Pyro Shows of Alabama. The lead technician behind it all says they started setting up the explosives on Monday in preparation for this massive event. It's a high-tech operation out here, let me tell you. All these fireworks are actually controlled by computers. This 20-minute show will be synced with patriotic music that you can hear over iHeartMedia Birmingham radio stations. Leaders with Vulcan Park are thrilled. All eyes will be on the skies and, of course, Vulcan himself tonight.
It's a community unifier, as I like to see it. In that very moment, for 20 minutes, that one night a year, everyone is looking at Vulcan. And so the community comes together, their excitement is contagious, and they are really looking at what obviously is the city symbol, but also a community unifier.
Yeah, and some of the experts out here actually say you can see this show from just about anywhere you are in the Magic City, give or take. But you should be able to see it no matter where you're at, depending on vantage points. But hey, if you are going to miss the show, you can't come downtown tonight, whatever reason you have, you can still watch it right here on WBRC. We're going to be broadcasting the full fireworks show coming up tonight at 9 o'clock. Your reporter in Birmingham, I'm Brady Talbert, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
Thanks so much, Brady. And if you're staying up to watch the fireworks tonight, get to sleep in tomorrow, and then finally wipe the sleep out of your eyes and go hang out by the pool. It's going to be a beautiful day for it. Once again, we'll have a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky, so we'll still have those easterly winds in place. With that easterly flow, it can still bring some moisture off of the Atlantic, so we don't want to rule out an isolated shower or storm. That's why it's great to have that WBRC First Alert weather app set to receive notifications in case you have something like we saw today with a few pop-up storms. You get those lightning and precipitation alerts. Otherwise, high temperatures going to be getting into the low 90s. So, you know, we've had really wet weather around here. It feels like the past couple months. So these rain chances tomorrow are pretty puny in comparison, but be mindful that UV index is going to be high. So you definitely want to wear plenty of sunscreen. Well, taking you across the country now to Texas, where severe thunderstorms are causing major issues in the central and western portions of the state. Check out some of the video from around the area as several flash flood emergencies have been declared. And Kerrville, Texas, being one of those cities impacted by the heavy rain, which also caused the Guadalupe River to overflow. As the search continues for those still missing, Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more about this developing situation.
Rescue crews racing to find survivors as catastrophic flooding swept through central Texas on Friday. Months worth of rain falling in just hours, threatening homes and sending river levels surging.
This came at night when people were asleep in bed. Please pray for our community.
The conditions turned deadly in Kerr County, 75 miles west of Austin. Officials there issued a disaster declaration. Water levels are expected to fall through Saturday morning and make way for more search and rescue operations.
This is not like a tornado where you can have a siren. And things like this happen in a very strategic, very isolated area. And when those two things converged, you had what happened today.
Central Texas has been experiencing a severe drought for months. And forecasters say that allowed for floodwater to quickly overwhelm dry soil. With more rain on the way, emergency officials are asking people to stay on higher ground.
We have responders, we have boats, and we have aircraft staged and ready to support any requests from local officials to the state of Texas for assistance.
Meanwhile, further east, parts of Florida are bracing for heavy thunderstorms over the holiday weekend. The National Hurricane Center is monitoring a potential tropical system that could drop more than half a foot of rain across parts of the state. Forecasters expect the system to move off the east coast early next week. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
And as we reported earlier on Weather Extra, that potential tropical system is now actually a tropical depression, could possibly become Chantal, Tropical Storm Chantal, over the next 24 hours. So I did want to pull up for you this situation in Texas. We just don't see flash flooding like this all the time. These flash flood emergencies that unfortunately have led to deaths today and people still missing. So this is what has happened in this area of Texas. Just to kind of give you a reference point, we have San Antonio to the south, Austin to the east, and Dallas off to the northwest. So this is actually kind of near that Texas hill country. And so when we look at the rainfall totals over the past 24 hours, where you see the bright fuchsia color showing up, even the whites, that would indicate areas that have gotten nearly upwards of a foot to over a foot of rainfall. You can see around Fredericksburg, Texas, estimating maybe about 7 inches of rain, but then Kerrville, as was mentioned in that story, almost a foot of rain, and that's where there has been that devastating flooding. Flash flood emergencies have been issued, so just a very dangerous situation for our friends in Texas. Definitely thinking of them this evening. Well, in 30 seconds, we talk about the heat expected for the rest of the weekend and bring you the weather extra on how companies create and keep ice cool on those hot days. We'll be right back. Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan here. If you got to walk the dog tonight, do it right now. Of course, wait for Weather Extra to be over and then go walk the dog before sunset, because after sunset, and sunset is at 8:01 p.m. tonight, likely folks are going to start shooting off fireworks. And of course, we have Thunder on the Mountain here on Red Mountain at Vulcan Park at 9 o'clock. So within the next hour, you need to make sure your dog, your cats, they are inside safe and sound. And if they have anxiety, make sure they've got maybe those little anxiety vests. If you have them, sneak them a little anxiety pill, whatever it takes to calm them down, because We all know this is a time of year when you have something like the 4th of July or New Year's Eve and pets are outside. They get spooked by the loud noises from fireworks and they can go missing, and there are higher shelter intakes on days like today. So just make sure your pets are safe and sound. I can't stress it enough. And fortunately, the pavement's not too hot right now either if you need to take them out. Now, if you're headed to the beach for the holiday weekend, maybe going for a week-long beach trip, the Gulf Coast behaving. It's really the Western Atlantic where we've been seeing that possible tropical development. I say possible tropical development. It actually is a tropical depression now and could be becoming tropical Chantal, but that would not be an issue for the Alabama Gulf Coast. Instead, you'll just notice scattered shower and thunderstorm chances in the forecast each day. High temperatures in the upper 80s, but of course, when you factor in the humidity, it could certainly feel hotter than that, especially when you're by the water. And on these hot days that we know all too well in the summertime, work may be more challenging than usual, especially for companies that manufacture ice. Fox's Jody Goldberg reports.
From Deer Park to the doorsteps of businesses across the tri-state, Apple Ice has been cranking out cubes for customers for more than 2 decades.
It's a 7-day business, but keeps you going.
This family-run facility is freezing, bagging, and delivering ice daily.
Some of our customers would be Restaurant Depot, Madison Square Garden, and backyard barbecues.
Ice makers pump out the cubes. They're fed onto conveyor belts that fill the bags, and then they get stacked onto pallets by robots.
Our ice makers run 24 hours a day. Our trucks are out about 20 hours a day.
The manufacturer that sees several $1 million in sales each year also distributes dry ice, along with handmade sculptures. But when the temperature climbs, so do the challenges when it comes to manpower and the machines.
I feel like your car, when it overheats, it just works slower. Same thing with people in this kind of weather. They just work slower. Machines are the same as people.
Now, this freezer is kept at 5 degrees. It can store up to 400 pallets of ice, and you may think it's refreshing, especially on a day like today, but I needed a jacket just to give you an idea of how cold it is. There's even rock salt on the floor.
Once pallets are loaded onto trucks,
I start my day at 7 o'clock.
people like 21-year-old Kevin Malone are out the door.
I also love how I work in a freezer on days like today.
And while today's tech has come a long way,
Years ago, we started with a hand scooper, just scooping in bags and tying it by hand pretty much, one by one. And now, look, machines are doing it all.
one thing hasn't changed: the demand for ice deliveries when the heat is on. On Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.
And coming up on Weather Extra, we have some beautiful weather photos sent in, and we tell you how you can be a hero during severe weather. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Weather Extra, tracking those weather headlines as we get into the holiday weekend. We're still going to keep a chance of isolated storm chances in the forecast. It's not going to be a washout every day, and it's certainly not going to be raining all day long, but you could see a little pop-up shower storm here and there, especially with that easterly flow in place thanks to that tropical depression that developed off of the southeast coast. Otherwise, some seasonable summer heat. Temperatures getting into the low, if not mid-90s. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we do have Tropical Depression 3 that formed in the western Atlantic. As we look at First Alert AccuTrack right now, you can see there are a couple of storms still lingering in West Alabama. We also have another little thunderstorm to the east of Birmingham, but a live look at Gulf Shores. Hey, if you're down at the beach and tuning in from Weather Extra, beautiful sunset views. Don't let that go to waste, though. When you see the sunset, take a photo and send it in to us on the First Alert weather app. So for tonight, if you're going to be grilling out, of course, we've already gotten past 5 and 6 o'clock, but for the next couple of hours, there's still an isolated chance of a shower or storm, but overall going to be dry. Now, looking at the lawn mowing forecast for tomorrow, we've got just an isolated shower or storm possible. Not everyone will see rain, but I know with kind of the soggy summer it feels like we've had at times, your grass is probably a little high. So if you need to get some lawn mowing done, of course, I would always recommend doing it early in the day before it gets too hot, because we will be cranking up the heat into the low 90s, and make sure you're wearing sunscreen. And for Saturday and Sunday, we have a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. Those isolated storm chances. Mornings, too, are going to be mild and a little bit humid, but you'll notice those easterly winds are still going to be sticking around. So with that easterly flow in place, it could at least spark an isolated shower or storm. If you don't have it already, make sure you have your WBRC First Alert weather app set to receive notifications to get those lightning and precipitation alerts so it won't catch you off guard, and we give you that first alert if a storm is nearby. Now, as we look ahead to next week, our next big thing is a more unsettled weather pattern taking over. We're going to switch back to what's called a northwest flow pattern. So you can get these clusters of storms that develop off to the northwest and then eventually push to the southeast. We could possibly see next week, maybe a storm or two could be on the strong side that could produce some gusty winds or maybe some frequent lightning. Nothing unusual for summertime threats. We're not seeing any organized threat of severe weather, just generally a better coverage of showers and storms next week. So you see, especially next Wednesday through Friday, scattered showers and storms around. In the meantime, for the holiday weekend, just isolated rain chances and temperatures in the low to mid 90s. I would say Tuesday is going to be that day when we flip the switch and eventually switch back to that better scattered coverage of showers and storms, but nothing certainly too apocalyptic in the forecast for us. So in Philadelphia, there is a new company with a mission to clean up the communities in its area in style. The company is transforming plastic bags into benches, tables, and much more. Bill Hartung has more from the owners about their mission.
He's always been passionate about building. I was always passionate about refinishing furniture. And when we learned that you could make this cool product and sort of marry everything, we just both fell in love with it.
The mission of Jahako really is to take the non-recyclable plastic that traditionally would wind up in a landfill or the
oceans,
your bread bags, your shipping bags, and be able to make it into benches like this. And you're looking at around 2,000 to 2,500 plastic bags just to make this one 2x4. We know every single bench that we make, 13,000 plastic bags are being taken out of the waterways at the same time. When I took a step back and realized how many bags are deemed as non-recyclable, we were just constantly putting them into the trash. I said, there's got to be a way that this can be recycled as well. And that's how we stumbled upon Echo Plastic Products of Delaware. They're a nonprofit that has all of the specialized equipment that is able to take the plastic, grind it up into like a snow-like particles, and then they extrude it into whatever size lumber that they're looking to make at that particular time. We wanted to say, hey, let's form a partnership together of Echo and Jahako.
It's a really cool thing to be a part of and watch everybody rally around us and watch our kids be able to watch us do that as well.
Here, this is most likely made out of a lot more grocery bags where you can see it's a little bit smoother. This definitely has more of your detergent bottles in it. We need plastic, it's in everything. It's here to stay. The thing that we need to focus on is recapturing all of that plastic and putting it back into manufacturing so that it can be made into other things. It makes us feel good that we're helping the environment, but we're also providing something that'll be lasting for years and years to come.
It won't need to be maintained. It won't give you splinters. It won't weather. It won't fall apart. It'll be there a lot longer than we all will.
And hey, that bird loved it too. So, you know, we're celebrating the red, white, and blue today, but we also like to celebrate green, because what's better than taking care of America and this planet that we are so fortunate to call home? Well, as we look ahead to what could be happening in this planet beyond the 7 days, 6 to 10 days from now. Actually, this is 8 to 14 days from now. So July 12th through 18th. Oh my gosh, what a surprise. It looks like we're going to be seeing above average temperatures in the forecast. Now, does that mean we're talking mid, upper 90s or just mid 90s? We'll see. But generally looking at a warmer than average pattern. And also, this one may not surprise you whatsoever. No way. More rain in the forecast? Shocking. Based on how 2025 has gone thus far. Well, we'll have a final look at your forecast coming up after the break. Well, before we send you off to watch some fireworks, some beautiful views tonight, or well, this was the sunset yesterday in Pell City, sent in from Lynn Burrell. These are all photos from our First Alert weather app. And then Adam Stuckey, the moon in the night sky. So get a little closer to the full moon, about halfway there. And then this is sent in from some viewers, a beautiful sunrise. You got that little cotton candy sky. Jacob Chapman sent this in. Oh, that's a great shot of some lightning. We love to see those really high def lightning shots. And then how about this? Ooh, Love a good drone view of the sunrise over Hayden. You can see that little patchy fog there developing in the valleys as well. So let's look at that 7-day forecast. Obviously today we've been tracking some isolated showers and storms, more isolated coverage through the holiday weekend and Monday, and then scattered coverage next week. Don't forget, we'll be airing WBRC 6 News Thunder on the Mountain coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, and the news right after that at 9:30. See you then.